Is it live?
From Snow's Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway at 74 in Gonzales. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch, 145 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Sandicoff, Jimmy Ott. Max Gotro is off today, but Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Randy McKay's with us today. Yeah, he's off from this job. He's, Max never sleeps. He's got
he's lazy, man. That guy's lazy.
He's working. He works out of market for some of these shows, and some of these shows go pretty late at times. So we'll give him the day off. He promises to be back.
Man,
for
Eastern
tomorrow.
Conference playoffs. How late were they doing? Huh? Come on.
How late do the shows go in New York? In New York after a game like last night? What do you think? Where the game end about 10:15 Eastern time?
7 o'clock. Yeah.
About 10:15. So 2-hour post game.
Charlie, this has got to be the worst Tom Thibodeau coach team. How long has he been coaching the league? 20 years?
Yeah, as a head coach. Yeah,
he's the Bulls and who else before that?
Just them.
Just the Bulls and Knicks.
The Bulls and as a head coach, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
15 years, 20.
He's been at it a while. He's 67 years old. He's been a head coach in the league since 2010, so 15 years. Yeah, I'm sorry. He did take a little brief detour in Minnesota between Chicago and New York. I'd forgotten that. Okay. They were terrible when he was there. So that might be the answer to your question, but I don't think he had much talent there. That was that's 10 years ago.
Watched the game last night.
Most of it, yeah. I kind of had it on. I wasn't maybe as into it as some of the other games.
It's Halliburton put on a show, Jack.
Well, I did notice that he never threw the ball to the other team. That's pretty good.
0.
It was a record.
32. Yeah,
record for number of points, rebounds, assists without a turnover.
30, 15, 10.
Since they've been tracking the turnover stat.
Yeah, and good. 0 turnovers. And I mean, he was making. You have that many. You're creating for yourself, but the other side of the story, there's two teams playing. How many times do you sit there and just kind of like, all right, I'm going to sit, I'm going to wait, I'm going to load up, I'm going to just take my, because he does has a funky, unorthodox mechanics to his shot, okay? And defense, this has got to be Thibodeau's worst team he's ever coached. This is a bad defensive team. And during the regular season, it was about Karl Anthony Towns. He ain't even playing a lick. We know but his when he was on the floor, the Knicks were like whatever the 30th defensive efficiency rating was, it was like 10 points worse when he was on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just now he's played a little bit of defense and he's a headache, man. And he's been playing his ass off, dude, in the postseason for the most part. I mean, he's a big old dude with some skills that's near the top of the list as far as your head cases in the league, attitude, whatever, which is going to be counterproductive. I love how he's never committed a foul like him. Barkley even said last night, you heard, post game, man, what? Some of his fouls are stupid. just stupid, man. I say, poor decisions. He's good for 2 or 3 a game, every game. That's why he's in foul trouble all the time. But he's played a little, man, they want to run. Even in game 1, I'm like, why are they running when the Pacers want to run? They're doing exactly what they want. We know about their light bench. They've had them. Charlie, how many open threes did they have? I don't know. I didn't record that, but I did go back and look at the play-by-play on how many dunk, layups, or lane makes. 24 of them.
That's a lot.
Throw in 27 more free throw makes. That's 75 points right off the shoot. Well, when I evaluate defenses, I want to say how many easy buckets. Because the tough perimeter shots, they'll come and they'll go. But how many layups, dunks, free throws? Remember Johnny Jones used to do the meter?
Yeah, the dunkometer. Yeah, that was.
A
Kent Lowe creation. It was kind of fun.
It was a Kent Lowe creation.
He started doing it on his stat sheets, the dunkometer, and it kind of that's the first place I ever saw it.
Okay,
anyway.
but we were so bad defensively. We're like, and it was just the easy. It's not just the teams, but I didn't calculate and note all the open threes, but there are a lot. There were a
Let
lot.
me clarify. Kent was talking about the dunks that LSU made. We were counting the dunks that LSU gave
No,
up.
no, but not just dunks,
Yeah,
layups, free
this is
throws. I
supposed to
mean,
be your rim
that's
protector.
just cheap points. That's the whole thing. As a coach, I'm trying to devise plays to get easy baskets, cheap baskets. Why do you want to try and defend? Because when we want to get the ball, we want to push it and get an easy transition bucket. The easy buckets, and there were so many last night for the Pacers. Pacers are good, okay? They've been good. They're fun. They're kind of bringing I don't know who's brought more of a pizzazz to the market, the Indianapolis market, McAfee or the Pacers? Because if this team was in LA or in New York, the way they are a fun. I mean, Showtime.
Yeah,
Man, they got a lot of Showtime to them, don't they?
they do, and they look like a better unit. The unit is better than the sum of the parts. If that makes any sense to you. Well, I comment on what you said with the Knicks. Your easy baskets are over two massive bigs. Okay. Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. The whole idea, and I don't watch the Knicks every night. I don't even watch the Knicks, very often. But my thought was that the whole idea was moving Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns was supposed to be an offensive spark. Randle is a good offensive player, but Towns is a matchup nightmare because he can do so many different things. The Knicks have good core defensive players. Josh Hart is a good defensive player. OG Anunoby was supposed to be that was another trade that they made, was supposed to be a good defensive player, and Thibodeau is supposed to be a good defensive coach, but they needed to add more scoring. So that was kind of they tried it the other way. They had most of this team together with Julius Randle. They felt like they were not going to make that next step unless they added another unique player, upper level player, and they decided on Towns because that's who they could get, and they moved Randall for him. So you are scoring more points, but it has come at a cost.
There's no doubt, and this was but this is the way they played in the regular season as well. I just thought it might
tighten up.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a different game,
and it's supposed to tighten
Thibodeau, but they, I mean, that was the fourth quickest pace game, and we played about 70 postseason games. The fourth fastest pace last night.
Yeah,
that's the Thibodeau team. That's not.
No, that's not. I don't think that's how he wants to play.
What about Brunson? I mean, who's better in the half court creating a quality shot than him? Why would you not? I mean, I just don't understand. And it started in game one, and they had that 20-point lead. Late, and they were doing it. They were doing that thing, and then they collapsed at the end. But I was surprised at that point, and because Indiana is definitely trying to force the pace. They're fast, but they're going faster because they feel that they have an advantage, and they do. They've got a quality bench, much better. They can play those guys if they want, but let's face it, man. You got guys like Matherin, Nevin Hart. I mean, you got some guys that they just don't have on their bench.
Matherin was somebody I really wanted the Pelicans to get a shot at me, and he went like two slots and I think it was 2 picks in front of him.
He's the ultimate. McConnell is Toppin. I mean, these guys can play. Now they're not given, every time that they're going to be on, like Matherin is going to be on. But Matherin is the ultimate off the bench guy because he's an energy guy and he is coming and he's aggressive. He attacks the rim, but he can make the three. And if he hits his first one, then he'll take more. But he's not out of control that he's going to go shoot 3-4 perimeter shots no matter what, if he's hot, cold, or
Thunder Pacers is going to be a really interesting final because I think you got the potential for. Yeah, well, I don't know that they'll finish in 5, but I don't see either one of these teams coming back from 3-1. Thunder Pacers is going to be a terrific litmus test for just how much do you want to see really good basketball, or do you want to see really big names? And when I say names, I'm not talking about individual names. I'm talking about team names, okay? This will be, I guess you had Cleveland, San Antonio, but they had James
San
and
Antonio's a bigger market. These
yeah, James and Duncan. This is the small. This will be, I believe, the smallest combination of markets since I've been watching professional basketball. San Antonio, Cleveland would have been close, but I think this is going to be even smaller because Oklahoma City, I think, is the second smallest TV market in the league behind New Orleans, or I'm in the bottom 3 or 4. But
this is as
got,
low as it gets, Charlie.
Yeah,
I think
right.
you're right.
Yeah, but you've got the two best basketball teams. They're playing the best basketball. I mean, Indiana has played phenomenal basketball throughout these playoffs, and Oklahoma City has played phenomenal basketball since they started in October. These are young teams. These are not aging. Look, as much as the national narrative is push LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, those guys' best they're still playing high-level basketball. Don't be wrong, but their best basketball is behind them. These guys, SGA, Halliburton, their best basketball is in front of them. This is like, if I can I'm trying to make a comparison. This is like the Magic Bird or the Philadelphia Boston series in the early 80s, where other than Julius Erving, who was a little bit older, the rest of those guys had their best basketball in front of them. Bird and McHale and Magic and Worthy and all those guys. That's what this looks like to me. But the difference is those guys were doing it out of big markets. These guys are doing it out of tiny markets.
New Orleans is the smallest market at 50.
And OKC is probably not much higher than that.
40, 47.
Yeah,
47.
Yeah. So you're talking about the best team from
Indianapolis, 25.
Okay, so the combination is going to be pretty damn close to the lowest. But you got great basketball.
So
do you want to watch the uniforms or do you want to watch the actual players?
Well, has the NBA gotten like Stephen A. Smith? He's not the only one that's just pimping out the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's fine to have a little bit of fun, but it's ridiculous, man. You try and slight Halliburton. You're trying to tell me. They're like this game was over yesterday. Like
they want so hard. They want so hard for that team to be really relevant. They are the NBA.
They're in the conference finals.
They're the NBA equivalent. Yeah, but they're the NBA equivalent of the Cowboys. However good they are, they want them to be better.
Lakers,
and the Cowboys,
Lakers give.
But the Lakers have
run.
won. Yeah, but the Lakers have won championships.
Okay,
recently. Well, Dallas hadn't won a championship in 30 years, and the Knicks hadn't won one in 50. I'm trying to go with teams that haven't won.
Dallas has won a lot over the years.
Long time ago.
Okay, but the Knicks never have.
50 years ago.
50.
Yeah, right. Exactly. 50 years ago. They're still in your
one in 100 years.
Still in your favorite market. The Lakers won one as recently as the bubble. So
take those Wrigley Field shirts. Anybody can have anybody can have a bad century. Just say anybody can have a bad half century.
Look at it this way. They could be they could be pimping out the Nets.
72, I think, has got to be the biggest number of combined markets for a finals. Milwaukee and Phoenix. Milwaukee's kind of down.
Phoenix is like top 12, or pretty close to it.
12, Charles.
12.
But you're pretty good at this, Charlie.
I would say Cleveland, San Antonio.
Pretty good at this, Charlie.
Cleveland, San Antonio is my other guess for the one.
With Cleveland, San Antonio. Cleveland's at where's Cleveland, Charlie?
I would say Cleveland somewhere in the 30s. It just
Columbus, Ohio is 35. Cincinnati's 37.
Columbus is bigger than Cleveland.
I know
population wise, it's bigger.
Oh, fine.
I'll let you look at it.
Cleveland 19. They include Akron.
Okay.
Right.
19.
Yeah. 19.
We're here at Snow Seafood and Steak.
Yes, indeed.
They have been here since 1971. The last time the Knicks won a championship, they opened a restaurant.
That's right, pretty much. There you go. So, Knick fans, come on over here and celebrate over at Snow's. Cool thing about you sit in the bar area if you want to, and plenty of. They've got high tops. They got places at the bar that do great signature cocktails, always revolving, seasonally and things like that. So great wines by the glass. You do a Camus by the glass. You can do a Santa Margarita Pinot Grillo and some others, Prisoner by the glass and some others. So really, really good stuff. Patio, we do actually have coolers for this time of the year. If Friday night might be a night time to eat on the patio, but we're here in the banquet room where they're popular as well. And it's kind of the calm after the storm with, the end of May with the graduations, and we're talking about high schools. I mean, they get high schools popping up in this area left and right. I think is it Prairieville High is the new one. I just finished that first graduating class. Okay, yeah. So I mean, always over here, man. It's a great time, and it's solid. Boy, you got a great. The menu is extensive. There's not anybody that's not going to find anything from the fine steaks, hand cut steaks to plate lunches to fried seafood to just a hamburger steak. We were doing ball crawfish. I think we're done with that for the crawfish season. But Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years here in Gonzales. I mean, a staple. You're going to get great service, great food every time at Snow Seafood and Steak.
Live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less Tex during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steak, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, as well as new Handycast. We dropped it yesterday. Me, Dan Canterbury, Doug Thompson. We're joined by Luis Garcia, former LSU baseball player from back in the 90s. He tells some of the best Bertman stories out of anybody. It was good to hear from him. We went through a lot of the things that we'll be talking about here in the next few days about the regional teams get in today. It's a practice day tomorrow. All four teams talk. Don't know that anybody's going to be revealing any. Well, I know that. Not anybody, but I know that Jay Johnson said he will not reveal his starting pitcher until Friday. Probably somewhere around 90 minutes before the game or so. We'll have. We'll probably be on the air when it comes out.
I wouldn't count it out, Charlie.
Wouldn't count which part out?
Pitching down.
Well,
I really wouldn't. This is a I mean, if you don't consider it, you're just not, doing. I mean, but
he's considering for sure.
Yeah.
We use the 23 team as a template because in the 3 years he's been here, it's the one time he's been a one seed at home. The other 2 years they traveled. And we used as our gauge the Skeens against Tulane thing. Here's something else to consider, okay? It's easy to remember that LSU won the regional, won a national championship, and everything worked out, even though they threw Skeens against Tulane because they won. But in the second game, the marble game, the game that could have sent the season spiraling out of control, they beat Oregon State by a run. They were tied going to the 8th. And in that game, Ty Floyd started. Now, Floyd, who was great in Omaha, otherworldly in Omaha, was up and down through the last month of that season. But he threw 3 innings, a 1-run baseball against Oregon State, and then it started to rain. And so he had already thrown 71 pitches in 3 innings, and he couldn't come back. So
they're saying Johnson looked at the forecast and thought that was a possibility.
I know he did because the following week I watched 12 hours of sunshine without starting the game because they didn't feel like they had a 3.5 hour window. So yes, I know that he did. And Thatcher Hurd came in.
Did he confirm it that was part of his?
Yeah, because before the game, all the coaches have, before it starts, the coaches have input. The NCAA's input. Once the game starts, it's up to the umpires. The umpires have got the game when we're going to stop it and start it again.
No, I'm talking about his decision to pitch Skeens against Tulane, who had a losing record. Did he confirm that after, when it's all said and done,
that he was worried about it raining on Saturday, so he pitched him on Friday? He never said it exactly like that.
You can't assume it.
He never said it exactly like that. But if you look at the forecast, and I know he is, hour by hour, Friday it might rain. So if you throw Jaden Newt, if Jaden Newt started, I would expect 3 or 4 innings from him is probably your best case. Okay, I wouldn't expect Jaden Newt to go 5 or 6 innings, 5 at the top, but I think 4 would probably be it. So you throw him on Friday afternoon, and it starts raining at 3:30, and you got to pull him after 3 or 4 innings. Well, you were going to do that anyway, and it also gives you the opportunity to use all of your bullpen guys. Okay, if you wait until Sunday to throw Newt or whoever's going to start game 3, and I would assume it's going to be Newt at this point, you may not have Cowan, you may not have Evans, you may have used those guys up, you may not have Shores. Of course, the other team is not going to have as many pitchers either, so you may end up with a 13-11 game. So it's a call. Do you want to throw your weakest pitcher out there? Forget about the opponent for a second. Do you want to throw your weakest starting pitcher out there when you got the most bullpen or the least bullpen? The most bullpen. If Newt goes out there and gives up 4 runs in 2 innings, you got plenty of time to come back, and you got plenty of pitching to back him up. By the time you get to Sunday, how much do you have left? Maybe you have plenty. Maybe Anderson gives you 8, Nineson gives you 8, and you got everybody anyway, but you don't know that. So it's a balancing act. And yeah, you got to take the weather into consideration a little bit. If it was a completely clean forecast on Friday, I don't know. I'd still throw Newt. That's me. And
100%.
We were talking about on the podcast.
Let me say this: if it was Bertman's team 2 years ago, 95% he's not pitching schemes against Tulane. Right. I mean, so
and they had other options. You know, they could have thrown Floyd, they could have thrown Hurd, they could have thrown Riley Cooper, who had started the season as a starting pitcher and who became a really valuable reliever. Hell, he could have been the MVP of the College World Series, and nobody would have batted an eye. I mean, I think he had 3 wins and a save, or 3 saves and a win, whatever it was. I mean, he figured in 4 decisions. Yeah, I think he would.
Tomorrow's your big rain day. 86%, and 40% on Friday. Nothing basically Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you get into that day, you're fine. Friday, you may have to dance around this, and that's another reason you play the first game, man. If you get a rain delay in that second game, they're going to try real hard to finish it on Friday night. You'll be out there a long time. I know that, the fans are not wild about it because, you got to take off of work or whatever, and it's going to be hot if it's not raining. But it provides that recovery.
I'm trying to tell everybody it's going to be like, early April out there.
No, I said it's going to be cooler. No, not early April. Temperatures in the 80s at this point in the middle of the day are welcome. We've been out there when it's been 97.
Oh, yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get every time you call 296-0060. Also want to thank our great staff at Legacy Title. Ashley Bonham-Donald, Mariana Broussard-Haynes, Adrian Reese-Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Snows, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com. This is Charles Hanegraaff. Tee up your savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25% annual percentage yield on a 3 or 7 month CD. If you're looking for a longer term, you can take advantage of 4.05 APY on an 11-month CD or 3.75 on a 14-month CD. The minimum balance is only $2,500. Stop by a Home Bank location to speak with a local banker today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU. Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Uh-oh, they let the big dog out.
Oh, out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
Big dog, where you at, my man? How you doing?
I am in Deadwood, South Dakota. Gonna go up to a famous cemetery today and see. It's at Mount Moriah and see Wild Bill Hickok's grave. I believe Calamity Jane is nearby, and Seth Bullock as well. Famous people from this era of things going on, and of course there's a History Channel thing going on right now with Sitting Bull, and that has a lot to do with the story of Deadwood. So I'm here for
Wait. You telling me like Sitting Bull and Wild Bill Hickok, these guys were real? I thought this was like some Gunsmoke show.
It's not an
No?
HBO special. Although they did, Deadwood was pretty good. Figure out for me.
Learn me, Charlie.
Figure
Help me out.
Randy, when you go see the display or whatever they've got, find out if Wild Bill Hickok's aces and eights would have held up the dead man's hand, or if he was beaten and it got out of hand for some other reason. I'll give you something, Jimmy. If you got
a famous poker hand,
aces and eights is referred to as the dead man's hand because that's what Hickok had in his hand when they shot him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that legitimate, Randy?
I think I got that right.
Yeah, and back in the day they played 5-card studs, so aces and eights was a pretty good hand back in that day out of 5 cards.
5 cards.
I think it would have held up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. What years are we talking about here?
Late 1800s, mid to late 1800s.
The 1870s.
Yeah.
Randy, you weren't around back then.
I might have been. You never know. If you believe in past lives, and
You know what I want to ask you? You know what I want to ask you? So there's this explosion of sports gambling media, and heck, I mean, including myself. Now, Charlie can attest. I've had sports gambling as a minor component of my different shows for 35 years. Lock of the Week Friday was a 100% college football, pick'em show, basically, with different guests like Bruce Marshall and some others and stuff like that. And we compared. So we always had it, but there's this explosion with, now there's 38, 35 to 40, whatever, outside of Nevada. But boy, this is a real accommodating. There's rarely a guest in the sports gambling media that will say, they're more accommodating just than the regular mainstream sports media. But damn, were they petty and jealous, huh? I mean, they kind of everybody's an idiot. Nobody knows this. Nobody know what. I mean, you kind of why? What's the deal with that, huh? Randy?
Yeah, there's a lot of ego, a lot of testosterone built up with these people, and a lot of people are naive to, how tough it really is to be one of, a professional and make money at it. They don't realize that, it's a very, you got to work pretty hard at it. You got to really study the line, study the numbers, and try to get the best of it at all times and get ahead of, injury information. And they don't, they're just trying to put on a show, and a lot of it's pretty fraudulent. And thankfully we got, some good shows, stuff we do, stuff I do with Kraken Burger stuff, a lot of stuff on Beeson is good and that kind of thing. So, there's good stuff out there too with the bad.
Isn't it mostly the discipline to set your limits? To the biggest mistakes I've seen is you bet too many games and you bet too much on the games.
That's what separates me from being an enthusiast and an experienced sports gambler to being a pro. Well, one, I'm going to have a steady job. I got to have it. I don't want to try and fight the fight that you guys. It's not maybe as glamorous as things. But Randy, how long have you been a professional sports gambler? No other income coming in.
Well, professional gambler, probably, almost 28 years coming up here in November. So, quite a long time, with that. Sports betting, I was doing all the offshore books, and that's what got me started doing the bonuses in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's what got me started looking at numbers, using those bonuses, doing the poker bonuses, and having a lot of money on net teller, which, that's another stressful situation when that got shut down. I had probably 40, 50% of my bankroll on there, and luckily got that all back. But that was stressful. But that's what pretty much started it for me. I could have been more aggressive with it back in the day, but I was worried, of losing some money, with some of the shady ones. But it all turned out pretty good for me. But it's a long process of learning. Doing the right thing. The thing that upsets me with some of these media types, they give out, 10 props, and they go like, let's say they go 7-3 or something. They're great pickers, this and that, but these props, you start betting them at these sites, you're not going to last very long with a very much of a limit if you're just a prop bettor. Sure, it's good to be good at that, but that's hard way to make money, because eventually you won't be able to get down much on those.
Hey, what did you do before, Randy, before you became a professional sports gambler?
I worked on the other side. I was a craps dealer.
Okay.
From 93 to about 96, and then I helped open up I was in a Gold Nugget in Laughlin, Nevada. I learned under, Steve Wynn owned that property, and I learned under, learn the right way to run a casino, which they did a very good job, Steve Wynn Casinos. And then I went up to North Dakota, helped open an Indian Res, was a head craps trainer. And then in 97 of November, I decided to leave. I was shift manager at that time. And my time was coming kind of to an end. And I took $20,000. I decided if I can't build this up, I can always get a craps job somewhere, and I just never did.
Give us the best story of you dealing craps. You had some kind of crazy run, or some kind of character, some guy's trying to cheat, whatever. Give us your best story.
Well, you guys remember the movie Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Yeah. He had a drinking problem.
That was filmed next door at the time at the Gold River, which which is now a Dottie's casino up the hill from the Golden Nugget, but that was being all filmed there. And he decided to come play in the blackjack pit. He didn't play at the craps table, but of course he was at the blackjack pit and, came over and said hi to us. Also dealt to Bruce Willis. He came for Biker Weekend. They have a big bike rally every year in April, and he was there and got the deal to him. Called him he had a $50 horn high 12, and I called him a 12. He was all excited, gave me a hug, and not the biggest tipper in the world, but that was pretty cool. And just some of the situation, you see different people come in the casino. One shift we had, there was hardly a 7 rolled the whole shift, and there was guys betting pretty big, and I think we lost about $250,000 to the drop. So that was moving a lot of chips that day. So that was a fun time too.
I sat next to Cage in a restaurant in Vegas. Apparently he's there a decent amount.
He's frequent New Orleans a lot as well.
Yeah, he had a house in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I went to see that movie not knowing what it was about. It was extremely. He won an Oscar for that. It was an extremely dark movie. He basically the main character basically moves to Las Vegas to drink himself to death. I mean, but he did win an Oscar for the movie. Like I said, pretty dark material in that movie.
What is his upbeat? Is Valley Girl, Charlie?
Yeah. Not quite. No.
I was disappointed. I didn't get to see Elizabeth Shue, and when she was there, she didn't come over, unfortunately. And then, of course, we were kidding Bruce. I go, "Where's Demi? We kind of want to see her at the crap table a little bit." But
well, yeah.
So that's my story. So 93, first Holyfield Bow fight. I'm covering it out there, and the great thing about the boxing industry is they take care. They make the media. They're very accommodating to the media. They give you certain perks. It was a lot of everything. All the weigh-ins, the parties were at the Mirage, the TVKO party, the post party, Holyfield's party. All of them were at different ballrooms at the Mirage, and things like that. And so it was it was on Saturday night, and so on a Friday night, was it Friday, Demi Moore's birthday. So I'll remember this. I think her birthday. Look it up, Charlie. See if it's November 13th.
Okay.
So November 13th, because I was thinking it was Friday 13th. I said, well, what's going on over there? They have it all. And at this time, the Mirage is the spot, And I said, what's going on over there? Oh, Bruce Willis rented that out. It's Demi Moore's birthday.
November 11th.
November 11th. Okay. So I think the fight must have been the 13th, November 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never eaten smoked salmon before. But she was getting at the smoked salmon bar at the TVKO party. I said, well, I'm going to try it.
Sure.
So I went over there and I had my credentials and said, so how was you have fun at your party the other night? She goes, oh, yeah, thank you.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Spoke to Demi Moore.
Bam.
Spoke to Demi Moore.
Okay. I've eaten smoked salmon for the rest of my life. So, there's my Bruce Willis, Demi Moore stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, it's kind of cool to rub elbows.
Was that the Fat Man one?
No, that was not. That was two. The first one was something out of Rocky.
Yeah, I was in Vegas during the Fan Man one.
Yeah, the first one was out of Rocky, man. Bo was in great shape. He was ready. He was longer than Holyfield. He was just more of the classic, and he was in just tremendous shape. And he beat the heck out of Holyfield. And Holyfield came back in like the 10th round, and it was almost knocked Bo out. That he showed up for his party after that. I mean, he looked like a blowfish. I mean, you couldn't see his eyes. Everything was puffy, and he was like, all right, champ, try it. And I'm like, no, man, let this guy go get some rest, man. He took a beating, and he did not go down.
I missed the big fights. We used
man.
to really get up for the big fights in Vegas. I mean, boxing's a dead sport.
That 10, 11, 12 round stretch of that heavy, it was out of a movie, man. It was when it's on the square, when it's at its best, it's and it's something, Randy, you get attested. Something now UFC is more, but something about the energy of a fight night in Vegas, huh, Randy?
Yeah, and I was in Vegas for the last, fight night. I was playing at the Riviera when they closed, and then it was Mayweather versus Pacquiao was that weekend, and that was the last big buzz of a Vegas fight. Some of these Canelos, of course, bring in a lot of people to Vegas, but nothing like that Mayweather Pacquiao. won, and I, of course, had a really big bet on Mayweather. I used to see him all at the M Resort, and I kid him. I go, if I'm going to make a big bet if you ever fight Pacquiao, and if you win, I'm going to buy one of those money team hats. So I got one of those money team hats now.
You know, that to me is a really good example of why boxing cratered in its popularity. That fight, which was an awful fight, should have happened at least 5 years before it did. The same thing with Hagler and Leonard. Hagler and Leonard didn't fight till 86. They were both past their prime by that time. If they had fought 3-4 years earlier than that, it would have potentially been one of the greatest fights. Would have been maybe something like what we saw when Hagler fought Hearns, which remains the best fight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So many of those fights, the haggling, the thievery that went on in the sport robbed us of some of those matchups until they were so far past their prime. Tyson and Holyfield. If Tyson and Holyfield had fought in 1992 or 1991, that would have been a phenomenal.
All right, role reversal here, Randy. So get your notepad ready. We always picking you up. Charlie and I are going to be. We've been betting and following this college baseball. We're going to give you some angles. Is that okay for the regionals? Here we go. North Carolina, Chapel Hill region.
North Dakota State.
They
didn't make it.
The Bison, no, they second team out, the last team out. So North Carolina is the number 1 seed. They're on the road. They're at home, and they can pitch down in game 1. Oklahoma is going to use up their ace in game 1 as a 2 seed, and then they'll throw Nap the second one. They're in great shape. It's -$3, but it's going to be very, very tough for them to beat them. With that one. Oregon is another one. They've won 16 of their last 18. They lost in the semifinals to Nebraska, but they get back to their park where they've hit most home runs in the Big Ten. They've got 3 good starters, but they can pitch down as a 1 seed to the 4 seed, Utah Valley State, and still have their 1-2 punch to close that one out. Now, some shots I'll give you. Texas San Antonio is really good. And Texas lost their ace for the season about 4 series ago, about a month ago. So, and they have not handled. They've been about 500 in the SEC since. Texas San Antonio blasted the competition in a decent conference. And then Cal Irvine, who's been very, very good for a lot of the season, we thought they might host their 3rd choice in the Los Angeles regional against UCLA, +310. They got a chance. They're a very good team as well. Charlie?
Let me give you 2 that I like to come out of the regionals. Georgia Tech, who can hit. It's a top 15 batting average. It's a top 3 in the nation in double, top 10 in slugging, top 25 in scored. Going in a regional at Ole Miss, where I love Ole Miss far. The staff kind of drops off a little bit after that. And Danny Hall, 32nd and final year at Georgia Tech, 5-time ACC Coach of the Year, going out there. Georgia Tech +150. I think it's got a good shot to get out of that Oxford Regional. And TCU +125 up at Oregon State. I don't know how good Oregon State is. The schedule looks a little bit better because of the RPI, but they didn't play in a conference this year. TCU, I love Kirk Solus, former CSF player. They've got a very good road record, 14-8 on the road, so they can go on the road. They got a deep staff. Very solid ace in Tommy Lepore. TCU +125 and Georgia Tech +150.
Real quick, Randy. So you're frozen forward. We're trying to pay you back. But on the ice, do they close them out in game 5s with the Edmonton and also with Florida in a rematch and set up the rematch?
I definitely like Florida in the spot tonight, getting a cheap price, which is nice, on the road here. Okay. So not paying too much. So I definitely like that one. I think Dallas extends a series.
Very good. Randy, we appreciate it, my man, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you, buddy. Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. Always interesting stuff. Hey, tell Wild Bill we said hello.
All right. Thanks, guys. I sure will, and good luck to everybody out there.
All right, that's indeed our buddy Randy McKay. Always interesting stuff, and he's the thing about Randy and a lot of egos, a lot of attitude, just some confidence factor, testosterone. But when they say, well, who's he got? Yeah. I mean, they get strong. They want to know who the big dog has. Great stuff. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number. You're a partner. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Snows, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
George?
You know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to.
Yes. Scott's going to call you, so be on the lookout when we get to the top of the hour. He's in Destin, so he's going to call you.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Thanks.
Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for the guest that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino. Players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow's Food and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'll hook up with Scott Rabelais at the top of the hour. He's at the SEC meetings in Destin. Vigorous debate on the playoff format. 9 games in the SEC season and how the playoff format is going to sync up with that. Greg Sankey's been pretty outspoken this week about the formats that are going up there. And also Brian Kelly is supposed to be out of his latest session here in about 15 to 20 minutes. We may have to cut the interview short a little bit. for Rab to go talk to Brian Kelly, but then he'll have that for us later on in the show, or possibly tomorrow, from what Brian Kelly's going to say. His biggest news yesterday was that Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins were going to be ready for the beginning of camp. So those two very, very important players on LSU's defense going to be ready. That was great news to hear from Kelly yesterday. Every LSU, every basketball and football coach,
there you
all
go.
there. Yeah, no,
that's the modern day college football. I mean, college athletics, huh? That's some veterans at your place. That's good. That's good.
After that Arkansas game, I would have put the odds on Perkins being here for his senior year at 0.0%. So yes, absolutely, having those guys, big deal. So we'll hook up with Scott when we come back from the top of the hour. It's Snow's Seafood and Steak on the Airline Highway in Gonzales at 74. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme, or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. A personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell Omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge, or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steak, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Join us June 6th and 7th in Port Allen for our grand reopening celebration. Fun for the family, water slides for the kids, food, giveaways, and huge deals. Simmons Outdoor Power, 2110 American Way, Port Allen, and online at SimmonsOutdoorPower.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS. ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And we do go to Destin where the SEC meetings are going on. If Brian Kelly comes out of his session during this, Scott will have to break away. But let's see if we can hold up with him as long as. Rab, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just hanging out in the lobby right now, watching Ross Dellinger peck away at a story, and we're all in the holding pattern right now, but everything is going good.
Dellinger's written the equivalent of War and Peace on this playoff thing, and I understand why. Scott, if I'm reading, let me see if I can cut through this to get what Greg Sankey said earlier this week. If they go to a format that is guaranteeing 4 automatic qualifiers from the Big Ten and the SEC, 2 each from the Big 12 and the ACC, 1 for the Group of 5, and the rest will be at large, then the SEC is fine with that. They'll proceed with a 9-game conference schedule. They'll take ESPN's $80 million, and they'll continue to schedule marquee non-conference games like Texas, Ohio State, and LSU Clemson. If they don't, if they go to the 5-11, which is the conference champions in the Group of 5 representative and 11 at-larges, then the SEC is going to stay at 8 games, and you can not count on them to schedule anybody better than Southwest Idaho Tech the rest of the way because they don't think that the committee values strength of schedule enough. How'd I do?
Charles, you have a way of cutting through the crap.
Yeah.
Just show the best of anybody. No, that's basically it. The SEC and the Big Ten, to put it mildly, have decided we are going to run college athletics, and we're just going to in our image and the way we want it. And of course, the biggest thing in college sports is college football, and they want the playoff the way they want it. And they want to be guaranteed, 4 teams a year each because they feel like they're the power conferences and the 2 that matter the most, and everyone else just has to fall into line. It's not they're going to kind of take their ball and go home, and to a certain degree. There's even wild talk that the SEC and the Big Ten might have their own championship, but I don't think that has any legitimacy for the nation overall. If you do that, so I don't think that's a realistic threat. But yeah, they want things to be the way they want it, and they're trying very hard to shape all the policy and rulemaking to suit them, and we'll see who if the fans and the ticket buying public and the people watching on TV get what they want, because everyone I think wants more SEC games. Everyone wants more. Probably most people want more playoff teams, but it's got to be equitable at some point. You can't just have the SEC. 8 SEC teams in the playoff and 8 Big Ten teams or something like that. That's just not real. So, but you pretty much nailed it on what they want and what they're seeking, and yeah, we're no closer to figuring out if it's going to be 8 or 9 games in 2026 than we were when we arrived or 2 months ago.
Scott, is one of Sankey's biggest problems right now that he doesn't have a consensus in his own room? For instance, Lane Kiffin said, listen, I want the best 16 teams in there no matter what. Whereas Kirby Smart says, I want the most SEC teams guaranteed in the field. Scott Strickland, who's the athletic director at Florida, says he won't support a 9-game league schedule without guaranteed playoff access for the SEC. So before he goes beating on tables with the other conferences, he's got to get a consensus in his own room. Everybody's not going to like it, but everybody's got to at least agree to it.
Yeah, there's still enough of a spread of opinions and strong feelings that are making this difficult. They've got schools who still are worried about just getting into the Liberty Bowl or and want the Texas Bowl and want to stay at an 8-game schedule because they can schedule 4 non-conference opponents they have a great chance to beat and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's one after the other. Well, it starts with a House settlement, obviously, and then the college football playoff, and then what format that's going to take, and starting next year, everyone agrees it's going to expand to 14 or 16 teams. But what format that takes is what it is, and then you have what impact it has on how the SEC creates a permanent scheduling format. And so, I think you hit it on the head. There continues not to be consensus. There still is there still are a lot of people who are looking out for their school's own best interests. Can everyone get together? There's so many things there's a lack, Charlie, of people getting together and saying, let's do what's best for college athletics. Let's do what's best for college football. I think there's still a lot of, I'm doing what's best for my school. And I understand that to a degree, but everyone's got to get along here because they're, as Kim Mulkey told me yesterday, just in general in college athletics, they're putting the plane together while they're flying. And it's not, if you don't like it, if it turns out to be, you do something for a few years, you change it again. You don't have to be married to a certain format permanently, but just make a decision. And I think we all regard Sankey as being like this omnipotent force, and I don't think he is sometimes, especially when it comes to this, because these schools have very strong opinions.
Well, we're already going to be in a situation where, correct me if I'm wrong, there'll be 4 different playoff formats in 4 years. I mean, 2 years ago you had a 4-team playoff. Last year you had the playoff system that we had with the automatic buys for the conference champions. This year you'll have the 12 teams without the automatic buys for some conference champions, right. And next year you'll have whatever it is they decide on. So you're already doing 4 in 4 years. You want to change it every year, I guess you can. Scott, has either Scott Woodward or Brian Kelly come out with a strong opinion for one of these formats?
Which format? Playoff format? Or
either.
No, I haven't heard anything from them about that. They've advocated. They've long lobbied for 9-game SEC schedule, which would give you 3 permanent opponents and 6 rotating opponents. But the playoff format, I've not heard. I'm supposed to talk to Woodward this afternoon when they get done. So that's a good question to ask them then, and I'll let you know. But no, they have never. To me, they've never advocated for one over another. I think their thing is, play more SEC games, have better games at home and on the road for people to attend and to watch, and see what the playoff goes from there.
The other thing, and I don't know that they're going to get to this behind closed doors. I don't know that they can advance the talk very much without a playoff format, is the play-in games that have been talked about as either a replacement or alongside conference championship games. Tell me the I don't want to say consensus, but the thought about these play-in games that could determine the 3rd or 4th team out of an SEC or a Big Ten to get into a playoff.
Yeah, you would have the traditional SEC championship game between 1 versus 2. Then you'd have at least 2 other games that would determine who gets into the playoff from your conference. That assumes the SEC having automatic a certain number of automatic qualifiers. The 4 is of course the number that keeps getting talked about. So that goes hand in hand. If they don't have that, then I guess they will stick with that. But I think and it's I'm wondering too. I can't speak to what's going on in the other conferences. It makes me wonder if the SEC is kind of a lone wolf in this regard. I don't think. In fact, it's obvious. The conference championship games are not the money makers, the big events for these other conferences, even the Big Ten, that they are for the SEC. They really struggle with attendance at a lot of these games. So no one else is looking to do that. But the SEC wants to make it more interesting championship weekend and say let's have these play-in games to go into the playoff, but only if it leads to automatic qualifiers. Because there's no point in playing an extra game and then it knocks someone out of a potential, if there's a bunch of at-large besides the conference champion. So that's a very interesting concept, and I just feel like we're very far away from that. But I could be wrong.
Let's talk timeline. Everybody's packing up and going home tomorrow. I don't expect anything tangible to be decided between now and then. They've got a December the 1st deadline to figure out what they're going to do. That's for the college football playoff. And Sankey's in a little bit of a bind because if they put together the college football playoff format before he decides on 9 games, he could get a result that he doesn't want. So talk to me about timeline and when we could finally have some resolution to this if it's before December 1st.
Yeah, I mean, he addressed that in a Greg Sankey way yesterday. Talks in a lot of generalities by saying, back in 2020 when they had to remake the schedule, as everyone remembers, when all the schools just played 10 SEC games, right, because of COVID. He said they created a June 23rd deadline and ended up pushing. It was June 30th before they finally decided. Something like that. So they went at least a week past what they thought was the drop dead date that you have to let teams know when they can start practicing and put with all these measures in place. So he said these things are written in pencil, obviously. So if it takes longer to get a consensus, they would like to have a deadline, but they're giving themselves as much leeway as possible. But everything, eventually the clock runs out. I mean, obviously, anyone can go on the LSU sports website, go to the football schedule, and see what games are on there for next year. The permanent dates. It's probably just there's a lot of TBDs or just the non-conference games. So it's got to come up soon because these things do not move very quickly, or they can be changed very quickly. So, but yeah, they're still trying to give themselves as much leeway as possible. But you're right. I mean, eventually, a decision has to be reached, even if not on a permanent scheduling format, going forward, which I would like to see. I think everyone would like to see at least something for 2026 and maybe 26 27.
All right, Scott, I know you got to go chase down Brian Kelly. We appreciate it. We may check back in with you tomorrow and to see how this all wraps up in Destin. Thanks a lot, man.
My pleasure, guys. Take care.
Charlie, so you're saying maybe 3 SEC games? Conference championship weekend?
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could have 2 play-in games for the 3rd and 4th playoff spot. I wonder how much that will, dampen down the regular season a little bit, but also we're just adding games. That's why Sarkisian said, you're never going to get another undefeated champion again. These meetings are like the NFL owners' meetings on steroids. Okay, at the NFL owners' meetings, you have 31 billionaires plus Green Bay that are all used to getting their way. Here, you got 16 athletic directors, 16 football coaches, 16 head men's basketball coaches, 16 women's basketball coaches, and countless other administrative people there, and they're all in there looking out for number one.
Yeah,
so this ain't the easiest consensus to come to.
But it's all about football.
Yeah, that's where the money's coming from.
I mean,
sure.
it's all about football. So I mean, it's I don't. We love college basketball, but come on, man.
No,
it's
about the money. It's about the money, and the money comes from football. Or is Sankey going to say basically, or is he going to have his bluff called, or is he not bluffing? Is he going to say, you guys are going to give us 4 guaranteed spots in this thing, or we ain't going to 9 conference games, and he will be leaving $80 million on the table if he does that. That's real money. And you will see I know what I'm rooting for. I mean, I don't think that necessarily the SEC should have a certain number of guaranteed spots. If I were running things, I would rather have closer to Kiffin's deal. Hey, give me the best 16 teams, whoever they happen to be.
At large.
Yeah, you're not going to get that. Okay, so then give me the 5 and 11. Well, they don't like that either because they believe in it. They got a point here. The committee looks at one-loss record and not a strength of schedule. How else could you explain SMU and Ole Miss or Alabama, if you prefer that, from last year? How else could you explain Boise State getting a bye? So I get that point. I think if you just put the best 16 teams in, the SEC would be just fine. But they're not going to that without a guarantee. They're not going to go to 9 games. Sankey said it in so many words. If you listen to it, like, look, we'll stay at 8 games. We will severely cut back on these non-conference games. You'll still get Clemson and South Carolina and Florida State because they're legacies. But these Texas, Ohio State games, LSU, Clemson, forget it. We're not putting ourselves at risk because we need that playoff money. I'm fascinated to see how it turns out. I know everybody's tired of it. We're still also waiting on the House settlement that could come down any day now. They're on a deadline too between now and July. So we'll keep you up to date, see if anything else comes out of the SEC meetings. We're brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full service financial planners. It comes to retirement. No two situations are alike. Let Coastal Capital Advisors work with you, your business partners, your family, your legal team, your tax professionals, and make sure all of your goals are satisfied. Wherever you are in life, whatever your income level is, whatever your age is, they will work with you to make sure that you're maximizing what you can do for your retirement to alleviate some of your fears. Talk to Phil Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376. Online is coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. Take a break. Wes Reynolds joins us when we come back here live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LA. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room place. The Crown Town Room is like free TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flesh fried oyster or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. On one side, fillet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Cozy Place, Government Street, just off Acadia in the heart of Mid-City.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 104. Tigers Southeastern Conference, all in one place. Louisiana.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. Louisianasports.net.
This is Charles Henry, Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Phil Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Wes, how about your Pacers, buddy? One game away from the finals.
Yeah, 25 years in waiting since the last time the Pacers were in the finals. And it's been a joyous morning to look at all the media reaction, not only on television, but on social, and to see all the whining New York people. They're whining about everything. They're whining about the officiating. They're about Reggie Miller being on the broadcast, the games for TNT. They're whining about Pat McAfee's little promo that he got that makes the rounds on social for the arena there that didn't air on television, by the way. But they're so upset, man, and it's like they're just like figuring out now that the world doesn't revolve around New York necessarily. There's a whole other country out there, and they're finally getting it, and hopefully they get it tomorrow in game number 5, and Pacers can wrap this up.
I was setting up yesterday. We were doing a show over at Doe's Eat Place, and it's on. And I mean, I was like, God, it was going. I mean, screaming, debating. I mean, spirited debate. Whether Halliburton's a superstar. Well, I mean, what is your definition of a superstar? We get into all that. But I mean, damn it. And then today, Stephen A's not budging. So I'm like, man, just take your L and move on, bro. But, it just, look, Charlie and I talked about that. This is part of it. And Oklahoma City and Indiana are strong possibility to play in the finals. Wes, this will be probably the biggest number of combined television markets. It's at 72. You got a 45 or 47 and a 25. Okay. But do you want good, exciting basketball, or do you want media market? Because we're talking about the Pacers. They got a lot of showtime to them, bro. I mean, they are fun to watch, man. And they are an exciting brand of basketball. And you want to call it a budding superstar, whatever. I tell you, one thing, my man is clutch. He wants it when it's good. And he was, I mean, to be part of that many points. And Nick's defense was pitiful last night. But damn it, to have those numbers and be the first dude in the playoffs with the 32, 15, 10 turnovers. I mean, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And really, which was a critical game for him.
Yeah, and have no turnovers. And I thought Tim Legler did a good job of breaking that down and how he was able to do that last night. I don't know, who's a superstar and who's not. That was a superstar performance, and all this. Oh, it's the guys that sell the tickets on the road. But there's only 2 players in the NBA that do that, and their names are LeBron James and Steph Curry. So, I don't know what their definition is, and that's why I'm getting this reaction on do you work for Disney? Do you work for ESPN? Then what do you care? Then don't watch. Then I'm going to watch a really good series if that's going to happen between Indiana and Oklahoma City, and I hope it does. Even though the Pacers are going to be pretty sizable underdogs.
To the victor go the spoils. So I mean, hey, just look. Golden State was. I know it's a bigger market, but Golden State was not a glamour team before they started ripping off a bunch of wins. Okay, so I mean, it's just hey, and can the NBA be the NFL? The NFL is not media dependent, and I would like to think that the NBA is not either. But I mean, it's just the style of basketball. It was how about it? Was Sunday morning. I was watching a little bit of the race in Monaco, and then I'm flipping over the 30-year anniversary. Of course, 30 by 30 series is going to have look back 30 years ago, huh, Charlie?
Round number.
you know, the Reggie Miller thing and
Right.
all that. So I didn't realize as good, you know, that with, you know, of course, Mark Jackson being in for New York, both as, you know, the Knicks and also with the, you know, St. John's. So he knows the city, and he was ribbing, you know, did you see what Lupica wrote about you and stuff like that? Wes, I know you're paying attention to all that New York stuff, but it's a lot of squirming today, huh? But I mean, really, I mean, because a guy, are we judging guys because they can sell tickets or they can win basketball games? You know, so the one thing that doesn't fit, you tell me, the one thing that doesn't fit, he only averages 18 points a game during the regular season. So that's not, you know, the gaudy 28, 30 that you do see, you know, some of the other stars in the league. But man, I mean, I've seen enough when it counts, man. And he was spectacular, man.
What did Magic average when he was
about that? Well, it's
a different game.
It's a different scoring game. There is more scoring now.
And he had Kareem. Kareem was still in his prime of those first Laker teams, but that's about what Magic averaged.
Is he more a facilitator in a regular season? It's because I know they were talking about that during the game. And man, I think it was Van Gundy who said, "Oh, when Halliburton's aggressive like this for his own shot, look out." So that was very early in the broadcast too. Wes?
Well, and he was injured early in the season. You look at the stats, you see that he'll throw a clunker in there. Like sometimes he'll have 8 points in the game. It's like, okay, what's going on here? But that was early in the season. I think, you know, when he was dealing with that back issue, and now he's healthy and now he's confident. And when he can do that step back three, that's when he knows he has you as a defender. That's when he's in his bag, and that's when you know he's confident. You saw it last night very early, and I thought it set the tone right away.
Zigzags are 19 games over 500, meaning that whoever loses the game, you bet them to cover the next game. Is this an exhale spot? I mean, when you look back at it, that game 2 was an exhale spot, and they did just fine in that one.
Yeah, it could be, I guess, an exhale spot here. And that's how I think bettors are going to bet it. But you're pretty much seeing 5 across the board for Pacers and Knicks on Thursday. So I don't think the market is necessarily convinced, you know, where it's just like the auto play on the zigzag here, because I think the Pacers are the better team. And I think they've shown to be the better team in 4 games. Now, the knockout punch is the hardest one to land. It is absolutely hard to close one of these series out, especially the deeper you go in the playoffs. But winning last night's game, because I felt the winner of last night's game was going to win the series. So I think that put the Pacers in a very good position here. But got to go take care of business, and you got to make it chaotic like it was last night. A chaotic game where you're running up and down the floor and it's a quick pace. That's going to favor the Pacers, and I think the Knicks know that, and they were successful at slowing it down in Game 3, and we'll see if they can do it tomorrow night.
Yeah, but that's the only game where they tried to. I mean, in Game 1, it was. I mean, they've been a willing participant in an up-tempo game, and that's puzzling to me because that's what Indiana wants to do. And I mean, there was that fourth fastest pace, fourth fastest tempo of the 50 games in the postseason so far. So. Yeah, no, kind of play into the right into the hand of your opponent are the Knicks, and this is what's that, Charlie?
His numbers. I just looked at this. Really, really close to Matt. They both averaged 18.6 points a game in their championship season. Halliburton 9.2 assists. Magic was 9.5. Now Magic was a better rebounder, but at 9.6 to 3.5. But their scoring and assist numbers are almost on top of each other.
Okay, different era though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely
different area. It's more scoring. But all right, let's get to the Memorial before we we'll get to your picks. Anything of Rory not playing here?
No, not really. I think he likes to play in Canada, and he plays that event pretty much every year. I guess the big story was apparently he didn't call the Golden Bear.
Yeah.
Kind of looked at it's like, okay, this is Jack freaking Nicklaus. Take 5 minutes and give him a call. So, you know, I don't think it's probably going to end up being much ado about nothing. But not really surprised because he tends to like to play that RBC and is a regular visitor. Has done very well in that event over the years, no matter where it's been held. So not a big deal. I don't think he's playing at the Memorial, but might have wanted to give Jack at least a little bit of a call and let him know, hey, I'll be there next year or whatever. But, that's the golf etiquette, I guess, that didn't happen here.
All right, who we looking at, and are we doing with or without Scotty Scheffler?
Yeah, I think you could do both. I did a couple of these in the without market this week because Scotty, the defending champion, won at 4-1 last year. Now he's 3-1, but didn't go too far down the board just because you've seen a lot of class players, I think, win here in recent years. It's been a while since we've had a long shot. I think the last long shot that we had here, I want to say, was the 66-1, like Jason Duffner. Like Horschel was 60, but Horschel was really playing good golf coming in. But you've seen a lot of class players win here. I think you'll have another one. Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele, I got at 18-1. You could do 14-1 in the without market. Morikawa has actually won on this course before, but it was that COVID tournament. Because remember, they had the back-to-back at Muirfield. They had the Memorial and they had the Workday Charity Open, and that's what Morikawa beat Justin Thomas in the playoff. Approach numbers are really good. The driving accuracy is good. Even though these fairways are generous, if you don't hit the fairways, you're getting 4-inch thick rough. And that's going to be troublesome here to save pars and score on this course if you don't hit fairways. So Morikawa, I think, fits here. Xander Schauffele at the same price. He has not been playing great, but he's starting to put little pieces together because he missed those 2 months with that rib injury. So starting to be better off the tee. He was third at the PGA off the tee, and he's nice on the tour for approach. Led in putting here last year at the Memorial, so I think he's going to go well. Another guy who we had success with here a couple years ago got the winner with him, Victor Hovland. I think he's 28-1 in the without and about 30-something in just the whip Scheffler market. Eighth in approach, fifth in total driving 2 weeks ago at the PGA. And the short game, which is always his challenge. He has difficulty kind of with them little pitches and chips around the green, but he's better when it's out of that thick stuff and not when it's out of the short grass and the really tight lie. So I think that these green complexes set up better for him. And then a little bit longer down the board, Tony Finau, who you can get in the 50s, the 40 in the without market, 3 top 10s and 8 appearances here at the Memorial. Thought he played better in the PGA than his finish was, where he ended up T19. He's one of them guys that are outside looking in for the Ryder Cup, and he missed it last time out. So it's not too early to think about that because you're only going to get a few more chances in like really big marquee events to be able to show something. So I think Tony Finau may do that this week. And then Matt Fitzpatrick, 40-1 in the without. He's probably about 50-1 in terms of a regular price. First top 10 anywhere in the world since last year's Memorial, where he was T5, finished T8 at the PGA. He's really equipped, I think, for an event like this at Muirfield, where the scoring is not going to be as low, where the winning score is going to be anywhere from like 7 to maybe 11 or 12 under par. This is not a guy that wins when it's like 25 under, when it's a birdie fest. He's a guy that wins when it's grind, like a U.S. Open style of golfer. So he might be a guy to look at for the U.S. Open at Oakmont a little bit down the board in a couple weeks. Fifth here last year, as I mentioned, 9th in 2023, 3rd in 2020. I think Fitz can go very well this week.
All right. Yeah. And when he won in Boston, didn't he, a couple of years ago in the U.S. Open?
Yep, at Brookline at the Country Club, where he also won the U.S. Amateur.
That's right.
There, and we put that together, and that was a logical fit, and one on him. So hopefully this event's been successful for me over the last few years. So hopefully that can continue and stop this about month and a half drought.
Yeah, all right. Follow Wes Reynolds on Twitter at Wes Reynolds 1. We used to get all riled up too back in the day when polls decided, a vote decided your national champions in who got in college athletics. It's pro sports, Wes. Just win. and you'll be all right. Just keep winning. Don't worry about, your players having to go sell tickets as well. that's going to be just fine.
Right. And don't worry about who has more celebrities and who doesn't. That's what it is. It's all in good fun, man. We don't have to take it so personally.
Thank you, Wes. We're enjoying the Pacers run for you as well over here. Good luck this weekend over at the Memorial. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet, fellas. Thanks for having me.
All right. Don't forget our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Go Chevrolet in Laplace, and then Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Plaquemine. That's right. New vehicles over at Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, like the Chrysler Pacifica and Voyager, the Dodge Challenger, Dodge Charger, Durango, and Hornet, Jeep Compass, Wrangler, Gladiator, Grand Cherokees, and Wagoneers, and all those Ram pickup trucks as well. Go Chevrolet, also with the Suburban. I got my Tahoe from Go Chevrolet, and my buddy Lee Carney and his partner Nick Richard. I mean, great guys to deal with. Mention my name, Jimmy. I get that VIP pricing down at the Go Automotive dealerships. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, speaking of pre-owned vehicle, if we don't have it, what you're looking for something specific, we'll utilize our resources and find that vehicle, any type of vehicle that you're looking for with our nationwide search. It's Go Automotive, Go Chevrolet in Laplace, and Go Plaquemine Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Plaquemine. I don't just talk about the vehicles from Go. I drive a vehicle from Go Automotive.
Live at Snow's Seafood and Steak in Gonzales. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wind go travels down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net features stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Our Wednesday consensus golf picks are brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Yes, indeed. Downtown Dana Brown, my man, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's specialized team of attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives. So, you get in a wreck, DWI, you got family matters, estate planning, whatever happens, even as little as traffic tickets. Give them a call at 343-1111. Downtown Dana Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Here's Max's picks. These he has a couple of outrights. Now this is with Scheffler on Fitzpatrick, like Wes, and then Jordan Spieth. Is he crazy with Spieth?
He's a fan. He's not playing terrible golf, but he's not contending either.
No, but he is. He is agonizing to bet on.
Yeah,
because he's great to watch because he's always spraying it all over. But man, he's a shot maker. He can make some shots that people can't make. But he's not. A lot of sizzle, but man, I don't know. There's just a consistency of him. A lack of consistency would drive you nuts. Max has some without Scheffler, and the without Scheffler picks are popular this week. This is a hard course. Scheffler's won this course, and Scheffler seems to be in prime for this as well. You throw out that Friday round where he was just all over the place. It went over first over par round, and how long? It was a while. He didn't miss a cut. He was in danger of missing a cut. I think he made the cut by one stroke. But anyway, the without Scheffler picks are popular this week. He likes without Scheffler, Justin Thomas, Shane Lowry are his two picks there. He does have some top 20 picks. Siwoo Kim, who is plus 110 at the Queen, a DraftKings outlet, and Boozy Aiden Hoot as plus 225 as a top 20. So other contributors. So here are our common picks, and basically we've had more without Scheffler picks than ever. So Scheffler to win out, I believe it plus 280 a lot of places. I think I saw at BetMGM he was at plus $3. So it's worth a shot. I'm going to have some Scheffler on this as well.
He needs to take more weeks off. Give the rest of the field a chance.
Took a day off Friday, Charlie.
Yeah. I mean, he did the whole tournament. Just go on vacation, Scotty. Go on.
He without let's see, Connors is also a pick. All right, common pick. Victor Hovland is one of the common picks. Victor Hovland is at 30-1. This is, let me see, without Scheffler, Victor Hovland is 25-1. I mean, you give rid of Scotty and you give it up 25-1 instead of 31. That's me. Another one is Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick without Scheffler is 35-1. 35-1 there as well. So I mean, even more so. And Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim is a top 20 pick and without Patrick. So Scotty Scheffler is one of the picks. Then without Scheffler, it's Hovland, Fitzpatrick, and Siwoo Kim. There's our golf consensus picks brought to you by the law offices of O.C. Brown. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
I will tell you what I'm doing for the U.S. Open.
What?
I'm betting on Scotty Scheffler. You know why? And I don't even know what the odds are going to be. 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, whatever it's going to be. You know why?
Why?
I haven't been able to root for this guy in like a year. Every week, it's like fighting City Hall, man. I find myself rooting against this guy who's almost perfect. Okay, I mean, it's close to perfect that you could get in the confounding game, and I find myself constantly rooting against him, and it's so incredibly frustrating. You know what? Every now and then, I will bet on Alabama football when Saban was the coach. Okay, I would just say, you know what, the hell with it. It's just so hard to root. I just want to root, and I didn't root for them. I was rooting for my money. Don't get me wrong. I never root for Alabama unless there's a financial game. I just want to root for the guy once because can I be on the side of the best guy just once? Just once, man.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to root for this guy. I find myself not appreciating the golf as much because he's just so confounding to bet against. So I'm betting on him in the U.S. Open. I want to root for him, but just once. Is that too much to ask?
I throw him into a top 5, a little parlay with a couple of regionals. I mean, a couple of baseball picks. No, college baseball favorites. So it was paying about like 2-1 total. Well, the other 2 college base. I'm walking into Rufino's. I'm telling Max, I'm like, oh, what a great week to throw Scott Scheffler top 5. I mean, he looks like me on the course. I mean, he was awful Friday. I mean, first over par round in in years.
And he finished 5th, didn't he?
He finished 4th.
Yeah, the tied for 4th. Yeah, that's right, tied for 4th.
I think he had a stroke to
he did
stroke cushion.
He did
for T5.
He did.
Yeah,
and that was after the worst round in.
For if you are betting top 5, top 10s, top 20s, please make note if they are including ties or not.
Yes, very, very important. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick
now we're
Highway.
talking.
Yeah, look,
Come
you know
on.
what? Summer projects, one of them is outdoor cleaning. Tackle your summer projects with your DeWalt pressure washers. They have multiple sizes of the pressure washers. They're on special right now on the website, doitbest.com/Thibodeau Store. Also, you get your patio in shape, patio furniture available on the website, grills available there, and of course, all of your lawn care products are available there too. Key cutting, paint matching, propane services, screening, glass repair, all available at the Thibodeau Store. Cajun cookware shipped right to your door. If you got a chef, you got a chef in the family for Father's Day inside of a month now. Cajun cookware, ship that right to your doors. Huge selection of grills, including the big green egg cookers. Cypress furniture, custom made rockers, gliders, benches, swings. You're gonna find something at the Thibodeau Store. And their sister property, the Pierre Part Store. They also ship lumber out of the Pierre Part Store. They've been in business for over 110 years. So, again, Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online, doitbest.com/Thibodeau Store.
You don't have to be a schooled chef. I mean, cooking is trial and error. If you've done it enough, you're an outdoor cook. Look, man, people freak out. People in South Louisiana, the way the men cook. So, I mean, you cook outdoors, whether it's your outdoor kitchen, whether it's your tailgate, whether it is at festivals like the Jambalaya Festival this past weekend, the McWare cookware, the turkey fryers. I mean, all of the boiling pots of all different sizes. I mean, jambalaya burners and pots. I mean, just beautiful stuff, man. We go on and on. I mean, you got to check it out. It's a must. Yes, Nudge Jr. Hey, man. Hey, I've been taking care of you long enough. Go down to Thibodeau Store and get me some stuff, bro.
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. Live at Snows, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor.
Hang on one second, Jordan.
Okay.
Tailgate party. They're doing Friday and Saturday. They're throwing like a big
Tailgate party. I got it. All right, you ready, Jordan?
Hold on. Yeah, it's rolling.
This is Charles Handgriff. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson. They're getting ready for the huge tailgate party they're throwing for the Baton Rouge Regional right across the street at the Box. Live at Walk-Ons, Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Handgriff. Tee up your savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25% annual percentage yield on a 3 or 7 month CD. If you're looking for a longer term, you can take advantage of 4.05 APY on an 11-month CD or 3.75 on a 14-month CD. The minimum balance is only $2,500. Stop by a Home Bank location to speak with a local banker today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You know, Terry Bradshaw's relationship with his former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, has always been, what would you say, rocky, tumultuous, kind of all over the place. He hasn't been scared to criticize him, right?
Okay.
Chuck Noll and he did not have a great post-play-in relationship, and he was critical of Roethlisberger. He's been this latest one is kind of the most Bradshaw. Hey man, I'm at this point in my life, I'm gonna say what I want. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks, including the Steelers. They bringing in Aaron Rodgers? That's a joke. To me, that's a joke. What are you gonna do? Bring him in for 1 year? You kidding me? Guy needs to stay in California. Go somewhere and chew on some bark and whisper to the gods out there.
That's pretty funny.
Unfiltered. Terry, I got my 4 rings. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm 76 years old. I'm going to say what I think.
Well, Rodgers has brought this crap on himself.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just turns so quick too, man. I mean, I could see this guy was the diva, attention hog for a long time. But man, I mean, it just ain't nobody defending him, man. Nobody's like playing it up. I mean, it's just so.
I didn't click on it, but they had a thing where Danica Patrick, they used to date, said, we had some communication problems or something along those lines. I mean, even the ex-girlfriends are. they were
piling on.
Yeah, they were an item for. I didn't read the story, but so maybe she said glowing things, but the headline didn't indicate that.
You think he's gonna play with the Steelers this year?
I do.
I don't.
You really?
No.
I'm basing that on the Steelers more than him.
I understand.
I think they would have made
who they have.
If they didn't think they had him, they would have made another move. Like Kirk Cousins could have been had at some point before the Falcons got past that deadline with the bonus. They could have had him. I don't think they would go in with just Mason Rudolph. I think the Steelers think they got him. Now, if he spurns them at the last minute, maybe. But yeah, I do.
So what is he doing then?
30?
I don't know. He's being Aaron Rodgers, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I could be completely wrong. I think
he's not worth it, Charlie.
I agree.
He's very average
at this point in his career. He is.
With all his baggage, no, average ain't good enough with all this crap.
10.
Thanks to the folks here at Snows tomorrow. We're at the original walk-ons, getting ready for the regional for Jimmy and Jordan back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. And stay tuned for Hunt Palmer, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind.
All right, you guys, you have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, see ya.
Since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge.